Good morning, good day, good evening. This is YieldMax Mindset coming to you with my RobinHood portfolio review and my Charles Schwab portfolio review. All right, let's get to it. All right, so you can see now our investment count is showing 21,903. It's showing that we're up 852 right now. Live, we're down 2278. For the past week, we're up $209. If you watch my short video from Friday, it was actually, well, we're up almost $800 now, so I guess that's why. Showing $209 right now for the past week. All right, for the past month, we are up $1,003. All right, for the past 3 months, we're down 36,757. Year to date, we're down 22,091. For the past year, we're down 29,545. And all time, we're down $7,574. Okay. All right. So this is how we moved this past week. Going into the weekend, here we are, and now we're up a little bit. All right. So our buying power now sits at $22,840. Our margin available at the current time is 61,277, and we have used 38,436. All right. So our margin risk is low. Portfolio is 5416 for 26.52%. All right. All right. So as usual, you got 1K free if you're using margin. And since mine is less than 50K, this is what we are. Our interest is being charged at 5%. All right. So that's 5%. All right. For the first, for the less than 50K, right? All right. So prior to me getting off my big journey, I think I was at between 100K and 1 million. So I would be at 4.5% now, but I had a fall from grace, as they say. All right, but we'll get back there. All right, so if we were to withdraw, we would have almost $1,500 available to withdraw from this account. All right, so let's cover our positions here. All right, let's see here. Let's do this. Let's see here. All right, so this is our cash position. You can see it's at 41.41. And I will, so what I did is, Monday and Tuesday of last week, the market going down as far as it was. And even though I had Netflix, SoFi, and Hood, those positions were hitting rock, I ain't gonna say rock bottom, but they were down significantly. That even that was nearing me with a margin call. So I had to take some money from my cash account, which is set up for this purpose, withdraw money from it, put it over to the margin account. And then I also withdrew some money from my bank and put in that account as well. It's almost about $2,000, I think it was. All right, so here with 41.41 for the week, we are down $83.20. And for the month, we're down $183. And we okay. And for the past 3 months, we're down $178. So we do have a little history there now. Our buying power is $471, and that's because I sold one of these positions, which was test the 25 YieldMax 25 target 25. I did it so I could have money to transfer over into this account, but the market started to recover, so blah blah blah. That's where we are now. All right. All right, let's get back to our margin account. All right, so we have Bitwise 1956 is what it closed at on Friday. All right, so our market value is $9,780. We are down 15.43. Average cost is 22.65 for 500 shares. And we last got dividends for this account. 500 shares at 259, $1,297, right? All right, so we got, well, I think we got a, let's see here. We should have a distribution announcement coming up pretty soon. Let's see if I can find some Bitwise. See when that's happening. All right. Come on now. All right, come on. There we go. I don't know why it's so complicated just to get to where I'm trying to go. All right, let's see when is that distribution announcement coming up. All right, so 2025. So the 24th. So they're going to announce this on Christmas Eve. Declaration date. Yep. Christmas Eve. EX date the 26th. And then we'll get paid out, I believe, that following Monday. So not this Monday, but next Monday, if my calculation is correct. All right. All right, next we got SoFi. You can see it's up 47 cents in the overnight market. It is currently 11:16 Eastern Standard Time and 10:16 Central Standard Time. All right, so we're up 47 cents in overnight trading market. Market value is at $27,710. Um, we're down $79, and that's huge because we was down probably about $1,500 because it had gotten down to, what was it? This week we saw on the 16th was down 25, and then we was down on the 17th at 25 as well. And when did we get into SoFi? I think it was the 19th of November. Yeah. So we bought it 19th of November. All right. And so the whole thing was is to when I sold to get my capital, I was going to get into SoFi, Hood, and Netflix and make some quick cash to help increase my cash in my account. It did get up to $30 one time, but I was waiting for it to get to 33, and then I was going to consider selling it, right? And make that profit. Now going to 26, it may have some steamroll. We don't know. They saying 2026 we're going to do this and do that. It was supposed to be doing it in 2025, but it was worse. At least for me, I don't know for everybody else account, but it was worse in 2025 than it was on the prior administration in 2024. In 2024, everything was very profitable. 2025, it's just been a headache. All right, so my goal is, you can see I have basically $27,900, no, $27,790 in market value here, right? So likely tomorrow will be in the positive. That's what we hope. So my plan is, because I know some of y'all see my account here and you're like, oh, he's at 21. He ain't gonna get back to the glory days. But anyway, so the thing is, I'm gonna take this 27 along with the hood and what is it? SoFi, Hood, and Netflix, right? So those three. The plan was to, like I said, to make some quick cash. That hasn't worked out so far. If I hold for another month, I may be good. But I want to go ahead and start to get my dividends going. So hopefully the plan is that even if these positions don't, as long as they're above my average cost, I may go ahead and sell because I want to go ahead and get my dividend position started. I've sort of have a good idea where I'm leaning. Majority where I'm leaning right now is towards Granite shares, of course Bitwise, and maybe some Neos. And I'm still looking at a few other funds that I haven't checked out. And of course, I'll probably have a few YieldMax, but mainly it'll probably be Granite shares. And the reason why is because you're looking at $20 to $25 for Granite shares, and you're looking at about a $40 to $60 a week distribution. So I could be in Hui or Palantir and pay $50 and get that payout. That's just what I'm looking at. Excuse me. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so I mean, if this thing's run up and hit, where is it at? 27 now. So let's say it runs up and hit 28.50 or 29. I may hold and set an actual stop limit order or a trailing stop loss and prepare myself to get into my positions going into 2026. And I'll tell you more so why I got to do that. All right, the next position is RobinHood. It came down to what, 116, I think, in the last month or so. At one time, it came down to 103, and I got in at around 30 something. So I must have been around here when I got in, or around here. But anyway, right now it's up three. No, no, no. Hold on, we get back to the day. Right now it's up $2.11 in the overnight market. All right. Yeah. All right, so our market value is 12,346. We're down $676. 130 is our average cost for 100 shares. Let's see here. When did we get into this position? We bought 80 shares in December the 7th, and we had 20 shares from November. All right. So trying to make some cash. I think Robinhood in the last month, 138. In the past 3 months, I think it got up to 150. Yep. Next, we got Netflix. 94.94 is up 55 cents in the overnight market. Our market value is 94.94, $553 in the negative for an average cost of $100, right? For 100 shares. We got in that position December the 5th. So right after I got in these, things went down. All right. All right. So that is my margin account, which I don't have. Let's see. I did have BTCI. Um, it was up $35 in profit, so I sold it. Tried to fend off from getting margin call, right? Because even my underlying position, I know some of y'all say, "Hey, get the underlying," but apparently I got in even too high at the underlining, and been down, was almost getting a margin call there, so I had to sell that and put some cash in here because I didn't want them selling off my SoFi, and because they had target my SoFi. Anytime out of all of my positions, the maintenance ratio was around 25%. Uh, was around 25%, but they had raised it to 40. So I knew they was looking at trying to potentially sell my SoFi, and I wasn't trying to have nobody trying to do that to me again, right? All right. So let's look at this. Mm, where are you at? All right. So we got a cash account and we got an individual account in side by side comparison here. All right. So now we're going to get rid of that and just stick with this. All right. So these are going to be our cash account positions now. All right. We got don't need that one there. All right. So is that still the same? Yep. All right, here we go. Bitwise XRP. Now I was thinking this. I didn't know for sure. Um, Bitwise XRP. I likely will be selling out of this position as soon as I get back in the positive. And the reason being is I was thinking this was going to be a um, income dividend position, but when you look over here at Bitwise, and you look at investment, it falls under single. Why does it? Come on now. I want to move my cursor. Can I get my cursor? There we go. So it falls on a single asset. We got Doge here, we got XRP, Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. So these are actually going to be single assets. And from my understanding, these are not going to pay dividends. I thought maybe XRP was going to pay a dividend because it's at $20 or something, right? Didn't read it thoroughly. So I think it's going to not be a dividend position because these are going to be option income position, which is ICOI, which I know I like. You got iMist, which is their version of Misty. You got Mara, GameStop, and Ethereum and Circle. So I'm looking at, of course, I like ICOI. The other position I'm looking at is iCircle and Ethereum and potentially Game. All right. I may eventually get all, was it one, two, three, four, five, six? Potentially may get out. I think I do got, I missed or Amara in my Coinbase. I mean, my Charles Schwab account, right? What did I got over here? My Charles Schwab account. So it's I Circle and I ETH. Okay. But anyway, um, yeah. So that's where I'm looking at on now. So at least one, two, three, four, potentially four positions from the option income um positions with Bitwise. All right. So this one is down $50 in value. So potential when they get above this right here, I will sell and put that into one of those positions that I was talking about. So ICOI, speaking of the little ICOI, we got 25 shares here. Average market value is 489. We're down $53 here. All right. And our last dividends we got for these 25 was 25 shares at 259, $64.87. All right, Netflix again. We got 10 shares in this account, down $97. Granite shares, their version of Coney at 889 right now. All right, 444 is the market. We're down 50, basically $53 for 50 shares. We got a pending distribution, 50 shares at basically 25 cents for 12.49. All right, we got Granite shares. Excuse me. Granite shares Nvidia, 1925 481 is the market value, down almost $40 there. 25 shares, and we have 25 shares at basically 35 cents for $8.69. There were it's pending. Next, we got AMD Granite shares. Uh, market value is 553. We're down $21. Uh, average is average cost is 23. All right, so we have 25 shares at basically 39 cents for 982. And then we have YieldMax target 25. It's at 43.17. Market value is 215. We're down basically $17 for 5 shares. And it paid a dividend, 5 shares at 22 cents, $1.11. Prior to that was 113. Prior to that was 114. 112. I'm sorry. All right. All right. So now this is our cash account. Charles Schwab. Um, for me, I don't have to worry about with margin on this, even though I'm down. Excuse me. All right. Sorry about that. Body's ready to go to bed. All right. So, total cost basis here is just of shortly over 9,000. We have $212 sitting here in cash from dividends that we've gotten. All right. And so these are our position: Pavana, EatCove. This is Grayscale, Ethereum. This is Round Hill Hood. ICOI from Bitwise. iCircle from Bitwise. iETH from Bitwise. Granite Shares. I forgot how you pronounce it. IONQ. IONQ. Mara. I believe that's Mara from Granite Shares. Maro from YieldMax. Murney from YieldMax. Misty from YieldMax. Plady from YieldMax. SMCY from YieldMax. TSYY from Granite Shares. All right. All right. So my biggest position is ICOI. We're down $1,500 in there because we got in around 32 and it's at 19. All right. All right. So our dividends so far for the month of January, not January. I'm trying to move into January 2026 already. Month of December for my cash account. We have amassed it $511.34. That's what we have in this. And basically, we're getting paid ICOI twice this month because of Thanksgiving. They rolled that and still getting paid in November. They rolled it over into December. So we're basically getting this in twice this month. All right. All right. Next is our Excel spreadsheet. All right. Let's take a look at this. All righty. So got that moved over. All right. So month of December, we sit at $6,013 for active income. Passive income last week we was at $1,873.80. What our distribution we got this week that put us at $2,031.72. All right, breaking our active income year to date is at $52,745. Minus our ties of $5,274. All right, passive income year to date sits at $96,021.23. And of course, I lost most of that once I sold back the dividends to the margin, right? So I sold all those stocks off. So I pretty much in value lost all that, but I'm still tallying because that's where we are. That's the projection we was on. All right. So I don't know. Don't look like right now we're going to make that $100,000 for the year. Now, if I'm able to sell off my Netflix, yeah, my SoFi, my Hood and Netflix, and they go up in value before, um, well, it would have to be this week in order for me to get paid. What this week, Friday, right? If I get granted shares, I still got a chance of getting paid on that Tuesday, right? Because of the way it falls. Yeah, I will get paid on the 30th. So I still got a chance, a narrow chance. because I got ICOI too, so that's going to be a little boost. That probably at least going to be a $1,200, right? So that will put me at 97. You know, who knows? And I may buy some more just to get that 100K for the year. Say I made 100K in dividends, right? All right. So, um, I combine passive and active income sits at 148,766. Our active income is averaging 42.48. Passive income was averaging 85.55, and we was right here. We was right here. We had 16, and we was just to hit 20K for the next few months. Oh, I'm sorry, and then and October just wasn't kind. It just started selling everything, right? So I had to give it up, and boom. Because even if we were just still averaging around 8 to 10K a month, this would have definitely put me over 100,000. But didn't see that coming. All right, so our prior margin balance was at $40,873. My margin now sits at $38,436, right? Robinhood Gold is at $60. Our interest from Robinhood is at $3,861. That's averaging $321.76 a month. Our 401k borrowed loan is now reduced to $20,824. And our total debt now sits at $241,915, down from our highest peak in October of $329,000. All right. All right. Excuse me. So I went back and I updated everything as correctly as I could. All right, y'all remember I had paid this credit card off, right? And y'all see all this interest that I accrued, right? So I didn't have I took a risk. Um and so I paid that credit card off. I don't remember what month it was. Probably middle of summer, right? But I didn't have any source of my day-to-day expenses. So I ended up having to actually, even though I paid it off, and I didn't get to getting these another bill paid off. So I actually had to go back because my active income wasn't covering the monthly bills. So I ended up having to use a card, and this is where it sits at now. So I don't have a choice now, but to actually get this, start getting some of this paid off, and I have to lean on my dividends going into 2026 and get something paid off because we don't want to be going into, well, we will be going into 2026 um, with this debt, but we don't want to end up at this time next year with $28,000, almost basically um, $29,000 in interest. Um, we sacrificed that because we thought we were going to be able to have this at an average of 15 to 20K a month going into 26, and we would start paying down this debt with a focus on that. But look what we're going to have to do it on the amount that we going to get set up going into 2026. Um, because we also got to pay taxes on the dividends we made. Now I don't know if that loss of is going to offset those dividends. If so, that'll be a blessing. I won't owe that, but I won't know until I file. Right. All right. So this month or this past week, like I said, I deposit $2,062 into my Robinhood account because they was trying to squeeze me. They was trying to squeeze me again. I wasn't having it. No, 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 no. So I scrapped some money up, and after Tuesday, I was like, man, I don't have anything left. I don't know. I was gonna have to start selling off a few of my dividend position in my cash account, which is that was the whole intent of having that there. Um, was to make some dividends and move it over into the margin account to offset that. But we wasn't making enough because we only had 25 shares in our new positions, so it wasn't making enough weekly or monthly to really do anything. I was just getting it started, getting it set up, and still trying to figure out what positions I was going to get into. All right, so like I said, I deposit that amount, and this is what we withdrew for from Robinhood account for the month. All right, and ICOI is our only big position in dividends so far. And so far is about $15,700, and we made $1,300 in dividends thus far. I think we only had 2 months, and maybe no, I may have another month. But since we sold the ICOI off and got back in, I believe this is all we've made so far. All right, so that takes care of that, right? All right, so let's go to Divi Tracker. All right, so Divi Tracker has us going forward making 24,000 in annual income. Our monthly distribution is around $2,000. It says we have almost $75,000 invested. 31,000 of that is margin, as you can see here. It has a value in our account of 30,000. We're down $6,500. Oh, this is the margin. This is what's in Robinhood, 21,000, and the 4,000, and the 6,000 in the Charles Swap account. So that puts us at the 30, right? And overall, in all three accounts, we're down $6,500. We was up $1,800 on close on Friday. All right, so that shows you our dividend composition here. All right, saying tomorrow, MSST. Now I thought this paid out on it's saying tomorrow. I thought I was thinking they paid out on a Wednesday. I had to go back and look at YieldMax. So let's see here. I think I got YieldMax pulled up, don't I? All right, so the target 25 right here. So the day is the 21st, and it panned out on the 24th, which is Wednesday. So I don't know why they have it saying. I don't know why Divi Tracker saying tomorrow. All right. Alrighty. All right. So what's next? Snowball Analytics. All right. Let's see here. So it has us next 12 months back at 24, averaging 2K again, right? You can see thus far for this year, our biggest month was October. Prior was in May. All right. All right. So let's get to our Q&A. To our Q&A. All right. Let's go start with last week's video. Shouldn't be too many. I don't think we got too many Q&A questions. So it shouldn't be too long. This should be a short video, hopefully. You know, sometimes I can get the talking, right? All right. All right. All right. Here we go. All right. So my good friend Alan said, with Ulti being rebuilt, it has a lot of upside if tech stays strong. Dave, the lender, says it's been, hold on. Okay, I'm back. So Dave, the lender, says it's been rebuilt 5 times. I don't know about five, right? Maybe 2 or 3. But anyway, he said, don't fall for the scam just because the yield is high. I replied, I'll be watching to see how she performs. And the reason why I say that is because even though it's split, uh, if I see it over a period of a few months and it's holding its position and still paying a decent dividend, it will be something that I will consider getting back into. I won't deny. I cannot lie. Excuse me. Gary said, yeah. Sorry, I am aware. I don't remember. I remember sort of what I was. I don't remember. I have to go back and watch last week's video to understand. I know. I remember I said something to you, Gary, but I don't remember. I don't remember quite what it was. Right. Right. So that's it. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all making it easy for me. All right. So next we got this. Let's see here. All right. Dividend just says, so glad I got out of LFGY. I said it's good to make that move when you see it isn't going to work out for you. Seeing you made a wise decision. He says overall, I'm bear on crypto and BTC blocks is my last hope. I got out of everything else. I don't feel bad at all. I've seen some people lose 50K on Mr. related funds and saying they have high conviction. No, you are, he says, no, you are just high. Crazy work. Pack 'em up, send 'em home, son. I replied, I hear you. I'm probably one of those you're speaking of because I had about 12,000 shares of Coney. And after the reverse split, I would have had 1,200 shares of Coney. And I would have still had it even though I was down about 50 to 58K in the negative. So the only reason that I'm out of Coney now is because I got margin call, and with the way things were, and with the way my overall account was dropping, it was closing and on my capital. So I wanted to save it. So I sold. So I would have been making about 12K a month after this reverse split. Before the reverse split, I would have been making about 4K with Coney. So I wouldn't have been happy with that, but I still would have been waiting on the bull run for crypto. And I believe during that time that the dividend value would increase on Coney. Call me delusional. Uh Dividend says OT 35.38. That would be $3.38. So that's 5 days. Let's see where it's at now. That was 38.35. Of course, the market went up these last couple of days, so it could be up, right? All right, so it's 38.80. And let's see, what was that? 38.80, and it was, so it's up just a little bit. So it ain't really moved that much. Let's see what it's done in the last. All right, let's see the last month. So it's down about $2 in the last month because they split it around what was that, November 28th when it did the split. So it's down about $2. Dropped down to 37. Now it's back at 38. And let's see. I don't know if has it paid a dividend since then. Yeah, because it was November. So it's paid out 59, 55, and 49. So I'm just keep an eye on it, see what it do. All right. Uh he says pack him, son, pack him up. I said I personally don't own O2 currently. I will be watching to see if new changes make it a better fund. He says it's okay, ma. It's trash. why watch it? Also, since nowhere near the same as what it used to be, why not just change the ticket if it's so different? I said I will watch it because if it maintains the current price that it is now and it's able to pay out a decent dividend going forward and does that consistently over a period of 3 to 6 months, then I will feel comfortable getting back in. All right, through with that one. Hold on. All right, next we got this one. All right, in the Philippines says, I know the whole market is acting a fool, but if YieldMax doesn't get back up by the mid first quarter, I'm gonna have to dump everything of theirs and throw it into Bitwise or Granite shares. I said I currently do have some YieldMax funds, but I will be coming out. But I will be in the coming weeks or shortly after the first of the year. A good percentage of my position will be in Granite shares along with Bitwise and probably a pinch of Neo's funds. I said if Granite shares can maintain their value within a few dollars of the current price, and that price at the moment, when I says, and that price at the amount of dividends they were paying per share looks to be better than any fund that I can find at this present time. All right, next we got this one. All right, Dividend Seth. Dividend Seth getting in here with the comments. That's what I'm talking about. Love it, man. All right, he says, oh, thank you, Koshi. I said I had no idea. I said I have no idea what you meant by saying that. Thank you, Koshi. I guess I'm saying that right. So I googled it, and it says there was a warrior and a chief. Let's see here, meaning hardwood, oak, rough one, symbolizing strength, resilience, and connection to nature. Signifies strength, stability, rough one, but so I didn't know what it. Oh, he's actually replied. I didn't see this. I'm sorry. He says, I'm originally from Mississippi. He said, I was really saying thanks, my guy. No harm, I promise. I don't know your name. You know YieldMax is not you, you know YieldMax is not your name. What wait a minute. YieldMax is my name. It's I've had it since I created an account in July, around July the 24th. I published my first YouTube video September the first or the second. What was it? Memorial Day. Uh, telling you, it is YieldMax Mindset. You want to see my birth certificate? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yes, it is YieldMax Mindset. Now there was a video, probably back in the summer, where I sort of slipped up and said my name. I sort of played it off a little bit. Don't y'all go back trying to find it either. Don't do that. It's a waste of your time. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. All right. But yeah, he said that he was originally from Mississippi. And he says, I was really just saying thanks, my guy. No harm, I promise. I don't know your name. You know YieldMax is not your name. I didn't see this until now. Mindset to the max. All right, so code 77799 says terrible week for Hui. I said Hui has been acting a little strange. Yeah, I don't understand. 1 week is paying $1. Let's go back. Let's see. Let's look at it right quick. So wait a minute. Did I get something wrong? Oh, let's see here. Maybe I got something wrong. HOW. Maybe I posted something wrong. Hmm. Huh. Wait a minute. Let's go to let's see here. Did I do something wrong, fellas? Let's see here. Brown Hill weekly. Oops, distribution. Come on. Let's see here. Did I make nope. That's right. 55, basically 56 cents. The prior to was $1, which it takes a while for them to update it. So yeah, that was right. 55 cents. So you got $1, you got 50 cents. Oh, so boom, boom, boom. Then three weeks here you had less than $1. 2 weeks here you got $1. So it's been up and down for sure. Oh, so look, check this out, people. Now I know we was so used to having Misty paying out $2.30 and $3, and Palantir paying out $4, $7, I think, even at one time. Uh, but if these are weekly payers, right? So my thing, if they're paying over 25 cents for 4 weeks, you're getting $1 a month. I know people like, oh, I don't want to, man, $1 is good. To be getting a dividend for $1 a month. So you got to always remember that the prices are going to be less because they're splitting them up. They're 4 week payout instead of monthly payout. So I consider anything over $1 to be solid. If it's averaging over $1 over the course of 4 weeks, I say it's good. And that's what Mike Lester said. He said anything over $1, he keeps. If he started paying less than $1, he started questioning. But you always have to, average, add up the 4 month week to get what you're paying. And so when I see something that's paying 60 cents over on average in 4 weeks, that's $2.40 a month. You can't beat that. So when you're getting H H O HOOW paying $1 a few weeks and 50 cents, you're still doing good. But we get spoiled. I get it. We get spoiled, but those are good payouts. Good payouts. Considered your traditional. Uh, do we need to go back 16 hours ago? Oh, okay. Let's see here. All right. So I guess so. Some of these are 7 days. All right. So these first few comments. All right. He says, Cal702 says, whoa, I haven't watched your videos for a while now. Didn't you have near 100K at one point? Did you withdraw or roll the ship down with YieldMax? I said, Cal. In July, I got up to around 80 to 85 in value, and I'm currently sitting at 96,000 in dividends year to date. Basically, I got margin call and I couldn't recover, so I sold to keep my initial investment of about 30,000. Because y'all remember, if y'all remember back when I started making this video, I told you I pulled, I had about $5,000 in my account, my Robinhood account in value. It was probably actually 12,000, but it had a value of 5,000, right? And then I moved 26,000 out from my 401k, and that's what y'all see here. So far I paid off $6,000 of that, right? So, and that's what I was trying to keep, that initial value. So I've learned a lot, or at least I hope I've learned some lessons over this past year, to be patient. I need discipline and patience because I got a little greedy there at the end, and then the market didn't work in my favor, and I lost all that I had built up. All right. Greed, patience, and discipline. All right. Pepper Jack Rabbit or Pepper Jack Rabbit. I like that name. Pepper Jack Rabbit. He said, I respect sharing your losses. I said, thank you, man, for acknowledging that. I must say it's not an easy sharing, but I want people to see that is that it's I said that it's not milk and honey all the time. And that's what's happening to me. Potentially could happen to you if you don't know what you're doing, potentially like I'm doing. Potentially. Oh, let's go back one more video. I think I keep hitting the wrong thing. All right, so that's 2 weeks ago. So that's old news. All right, so let's go to our recent short. All right, you're getting trolled. He says, keep it up. I said, man, are you trolling me by saying keeping it up? Laughing out loud. I said, nah, on the real, man. Thanks for your support. Hopefully, 2026, I can turn the corner and make better investment decisions. My good friend Mike, let's see here. He says, YieldMax CRO in Reddit, I believe that is. Dividend payout about half compared to last week. Bah humbug, he says, laughing out loud. But still, great green day to keep us afloat, my dude. Somebody else, he got 2 likes. I said, what's up, bro? I'm planning on getting into ICRO with ICRC from Bitwise. That's their version of Circle. Whichever we choose to get in, let's get the money if possible. If it ain't making money, it ain't making me rich. He says, right, right on, homie. Slice. I'm looking forward to next year already. Yes, sir. And then he says, uh, new, just in, new, just got in that SoFi, set to pop. Yeah, man, I wish I had, I wish I would have got it around that 24, 25. And when it popped, go up. I don't know how far she's aiming to pop, but I guess I need to listen to see what people are projecting. I I know long term. I think some Chris Sane had probably had said something like $60, right? All right. He says, sorry, I've been quiet for the last weeks. 3 of my beloved pets have been really sick. I was able to save my dog and bird, but my guinea pig passed away. All this right before Christmas really has killed my holiday spirit. I said, Mike, man, I'm sorry to hear about your loss. Sound like you're very, very busy, and it's okay, man. You gotta tend to loved ones. You gotta do what you gotta do. Sounds like that was a virus of something. If all of your pets got sick, not sure, just an observation from what you stated. But I said, but don't let that get you down, man, on Christmas. Ain't even about the Christmas trees, Jeremiah chapter 10. I said, it ain't about the gifts. It's mainly about spending time with family and reflecting on Christ's birth, coming into the world to give us hope. Man, someday uh, someday we can and will be united with Him. I said, anything other than that is just not the spirit of God. As God told Moses and Joshua, be of good cheer, my brother. He replied, well said, my brother in Christ. You could be a preacher. You something else, man. Oh, he said, I always think God first and spread love to others. Your parent must be very proud of you. You will raise well. Thanks for caring and your friendship through this journey. Let's see here what he said here. Oh, anytime, Mike. Anytime. Anytime. Don't let me open this book over here. No, I'm just kidding. Man, put me in A fat, bro. No, let me quit playing. All right, let's see what he said here. He says, at first I thought, but my elder dog got a slight pneumonia and I needed antibiotics. My baby bird that I brought up from a hatching failed. Oh my goodness. Failed and needed help to rebuild leg strength. And my guinea pig died from old age, body shutting down, and couldn't walk anymore. He was almost 8 years old and fought for 5 days, waiting to live more. Heartbreaking stuff, my friend. Mm. Yeah, Mike. I'm sorry to hear about that. He said, but let's go back here. He said, my first thought. He said at first thought, but my elder dog had a stomach and needed antibiotics. My baby bird I bought um from a hatching failed and needed help. Man, the bird failed. Wow. Age. Well, hey man, you got some love for your pets. I appreciate appreciate you sharing that personal experience. Um, he said it was almost 8 years old and fought for 5 days. Wanted to live more. Heartbreaking stuff, my friend. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your loss, and that's a difficult situation. Having other things going on in life, and then you having your dog catch pneumonia, and your bird fell and break its leg, and then one of old age. I'm sorry to hear about that. It can be tough to deal with. It's a lot to deal with. So y'all keep Mike in your prayers. I know it's animals, but hey, when you develop those bonds with your pets, eh, you- their personalities and their traits, because sometimes, boy, they can do some funny stuff to make you laugh. I love watching the dog videos and the cat videos, man. They be cracking me up. Their personality. I had a black lab, um, up to a year or two ago. She got in an accident and passed away. Boy, she was something else. She would go walking with me. I would go walking for 2 hours. I would deliberately walk from my residence in one direction for an hour. That way, I'm forced to walk back an hour. And then sometimes with those summer heat, man, I could tell she had a ball of energy. But she, by the time it was on our way back, she was just pacing with me. I could tell. So I stopped and give her some water, and but yeah, she was a joy, man. She went with me everywhere. She didn't mind. Yeah, but unfortunately, I didn't go back and get another pet just yet because um originally I got her for my mother. But my mother said that she's got too much energy. She couldn't keep up with her, so I wasn't intending on having a pet at my residence. But I ended up having to keep her because my mom, it was too much for her. So she was with me for a few years, and then that happened. I was out washing my car. My neighbor came over and spoke with me, and I had her out, and she was in the yard with me, and I looked over. She was there, and I was talking to my neighbor for maybe another 5-10 minutes. Went back to wash my car, and I said, "Wait a minute, where is she?" Her name was Knight. She was a black lab, and couldn't find her. I went looking for her, couldn't find her nowhere. Looked for her and up until work time. Got off work, went looking for her, and I did find her. And it was unfortunate um, accident that she was in. Yep. So, man, I'm sorry. I'm up here going on about my pet. Anyway, but yeah, keep your head up, Mike. Let's see, post. What we got here? 3 days ago, Play-T getting lower. I said, hopefully Play-T will maintain and keep us making money. If she's not, 1 minute, what am I saying? Keep making us money. If not, set a stop loss so they can kick you out and don't take a loss or a loss at a minimum. Um, this individual said, "What liberty if you're losing money?" I says, "You're right. Speaking facts, there are lessons to be learned from all failures in life, and that doesn't mean that you still won't trip up and fall again. But the word of God lets us know that even a righteous man falls 7 times. Proverbs 24:16. Don't let the fear of failing hold you back. Sometimes there are losses on the journey." That's one thing I'm learning about through the word. I used to be like, "Oh, why am I going through this? Why am I suffering?" But I've come to understand these are trials and tests to actually teach us, prepare us. Granted shares, yield boost. I said, "What about it?" All right, so I think that's it. Okay. What is this? He says, "Worst fun ever. They'll lose every week, then they'll blame it on the underlying stock. Stay away." That was Max Daniel Stratus says. All right. So one final thing, if you all are still listening at this moment, I had mentioned in the Mike's video, I was mentioned something about Jeremiah chapter 10. So it's talking about um, now I know some of you celebrate Christmas. You got Christmas trees and reindeers and all that stuff, and that's part of your Christmas celebration. But I just want to share this with you here. This is Jeremiah chapter 10. Some of you may be familiar with this. And this was something I remember being in church when I was a teenager on a Bible class. Um, and that and we didn't have Christmas trees. We didn't do Christmas trees at our house. We didn't do Christmas lights. Um, we didn't partake of that, right? So that's the household I came up in, right? But so we didn't do it, but I was questioning. I was like, the man was up preaching out or was teaching in Bible class, and I said, "Well, where in the Bible does it says that that's wrong?" And they took me to Jeremiah 10 because I had no idea this existed. And it says, "You people of Israel, listen to what the Lord has to say." This is, I guess, the NET version. That's King James version over here. The Lord says, "Do not start following pagan religions. Do not be in awe of signs that occur in the sky, even though the nations hold them in awe. For the religion of these people is worthless. They cut down the tree in the forest, and a craftsman makes it into an idol with his tools. He decorated with an overlay of silver and gold. He uses his hammer and nail and fasten it together so that it may not fall over, such as idols or like the scarecrow in cucumber fields. They cannot talk, they must be carried because they cannot walk. Be not afraid of them because they cannot hurt you, and they do not have any power to and they do not have uh, any power to help you. I said, there is no one like you, Lord. You are great. And it goes on to mention that. So I was like, man, I said, that is definitely talking about a Christmas tree. So they go to cut it down, craftsmen and his tools, they decorated, overlaid with silver. And that's how traditional Christmas trees, they went out, cut them down, come in, fasten them down in the house, decorated with silver and gold, the little flary things or whatever. Um, and then basically saying, and I say that because the devil has a part in everything that the Lord tries to do, right? Um, Now, Christ wasn't born in the month of December, right? If you go back and read your Bible, it wasn't even winter time. But um, it was probably around October, November, or something like that. I think the 7th month. When you look at the Jewish calendar, the first month is April, so you count 7 months from April, and that puts you at about October, right? November or something like that. So it was probably cool in the evenings. But anyway, um, we're supposed to be celebrating. Christmas is supposed to be designated as a celebration of Christ's birthday. The wise men, yes, they came. They bought gifts, right? Um, but a lot of things have things have changed to where Christmas has come, and people say, "Hey, that's my tradition. That's my customs. That's what we do." Um, I I don't get caught up in the Christmas spirit. Now, there was when I was young, I had a little tug with that. When I was younger, I had a little, but as I continue to read this in Jeremiah chapter 10, and I began to accept it more and understand it more, I understood that okay, I was getting myself caught up in the wrong spirit of buying gifts and giving everybody else a gift and expecting gifts and all this kind of stuff and watching the Christmas shows during that times when I was a kid and just had a certain spirit about me. I felt that, right? But if this is Christ's birthday and we're supposed to be celebrating him coming in being the redemptive savior of the world, right? And here it is Christmas time, right? And we buy gifts for everybody else, right? But we're supposed to be celebrating the birth of Christ, right? But we're buying gifts for everyone else and we're not getting him anything, right? So what I've started doing in the last, I don't know, 5, 10 years is I actually give an offering, a special offering to the Lord. Boom, I write a check out, give it to him, um, because it's his birthday, right? Now, it's nothing wrong with getting loved ones and things, others gifts, right? But you shouldn't get upset if someone don't get you a gift. You shouldn't get upset if someone didn't pay as much as you did for a gift because all that is lost. That is not the real meaning of giving. The real meaning of giving is to give someone something, not expecting anything in return. That is the gift of giving, is to give freely without expecting anything in return. So if no one don't get you anything for Christmas and you give, you shouldn't have an attitude where, hey, I'm not doing this no more because I've been doing this and giving, no one's getting me. That's wrong. You're supposed to give freely, not expecting anything in return. That's what Christ did for us. He gave his life, not expecting anything in return. He doesn't force us to worship him, but he does encourage and say that's what we should do. Right? So Christmas is not about Santa Claus. It's not about elk on the shelf, or elf on the shelf. It's not about the Christmas trees, and not about Rudolph. It's not about the snowman. All those things are pagan traditions, and if we're not careful, we'll participate in things that has nothing to do with Christ. Satan gets in everything, but you got to understand man's part in it too, because there's a big commercial merchants where they're getting people to go out and buy 14 and $10 billion worth of stuff around the holidays. These are business that are geared to getting us to spend our money. Some of us go in debt to get these things for others, and we get caught up in that. The trick of Satan tries to get in, deceive us and everything. Valentine's. You don't wait to Valentine's to tell someone that you love them. And if they gotta wait to that one special time to tell you that they love you, then they don't really love you. So we get caught up in these spirits, the Valentine, the Easter Bunny, which has nothing to do with Christ dying on the cross. So we have to separate these pagans that have creeped into our spiritual livelihood. and separate the things that are considered worldly. These things are not holy. So we have to be careful about these things. Um, love. I was talking about Valentine. You should love your neighbor at all times. Treat others like you expect to be treated. All these things are biblical teachings. And we get away from the word of God and get caught up in cultural things and not realizing that we're not where God wants us to be. So these things are idols, the Christmas trees, decorate. Yeah, some of you go to church, right? And your pastor's gonna tell you, yeah, this is the creed, the tree symbolizes Christ, and the gifts is symbolizing the saints bowing down to Christ. Ain't none of that in the Bible. And if your preacher's telling you that, I'm sorry to tell you, it's a lie. That ain't got nothing to do with Christ. It's a lie, and it's a lot of them are on payroll, and they don't want to upset the members and tell them the truth, or someone just don't understand this, and it's sometimes a hard thing to swallow because it can ruin their lifestyle because they get us they on payroll, right? And if they start to teach these things, then the deacons and the church members may fire them and get someone else in there to do it. So, you know, but you should always put God first before anything. Um, so that's what I'm saying. Don't. Oh, and another thing, if you attend a church and your church has got a Christmas tree up in it, man, that's even worse than having it in your home. I'm just telling y'all what it is. Some of y'all may not agree with that kind of teaching, right? But having a Christmas tree that now I can't say that Christmas trees don't look beautiful. They do. Lights look beautiful. But if you set that Christmas tree up and you admire that Christmas tree and you talk about how beautiful it is and everybody give it praise, you're giving praise to the Christmas tree and Christ is not getting any glory. And that's what he's talking about. Idols. You setting up idols, something that's not living. It's a dead Christmas tree or it's a metal Christmas tree, and you giving it glory. You giving glory to the creation and not the creator. And God wants all the glory. When we set up these idols in our house and then we go set them up in our church, God is not pleased with none of that because he's a jealous God, and that takes away from him receiving the glory. All our glory should go to God and not to these idols that we set up or idols that we make. All these things are designed for consumer to spend their money. The trick of Satan to get us off the real reason why we're supposed to be celebrating the birth of Christ. God says, have no graven images before me. A Christmas tree is a graven image. Nativity signs are graven image. And here's something else, the cross. If people are selling necklace and crosses, those are graven images. God is a spirit, and he don't want you having graven images and giving glory to those images because they are not him. And you have to be careful how man is dictating these things and getting you all to spend your money on these things, thinking because you have a necklace with a cross on it. He says, have no graven images. Basketball players having statues outside stadiums, graven images. God don't like that. And we are a society is getting away from the true word of God, and we are listening to things that please our ears, that comfort us, and that don't want to rock our world when we're told that these things are not according to the word of God. But yeah, that's all I want to say is just want to bring it to your attention that Jeremiah chapter 10, like I say, some of the preachers going to say it symbolizes the lights and symbolize all that is a lie. The word of God don't say none of that. These are man-made fables to get the people in church to let them do what they do, to keep them happy, where they can keep bringing that money in and paying them salaries. But these are idols. It's called idolatry. And if you got it in your house, but when your church is putting it up in the church, it's supposed to be a house of God, and you setting up a Christmas tree to take away from the glory of God, and it has nothing to do with his birth, be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful. And if your pastor is saying it's representing Christ and us bowing before him, it is a lie. That is not biblically supported. That is someone who's trying to, uh, you know, let you off the hook and not ruin your Christmas spirit and all this. I'm sorry, folks. I'm transparent with my finances and I'm honest on the word that I know, right? I'm not trying to ruin your Christmas, but think about this going forward from the years to come. Meditate on this word and try to understand it and let God speak to your heart about what he's trying to say through the prophet Jeremiah. All right, this is YieldMax Mindset. That is my name, and I'm out. You all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's. All right, but do it in the right manner. Celebrate the birth of Christ with your loved ones. Reflect on all that the Lord has given you and be thankful for all the things that he's done for you. All right, I am out of here finally.